wrestling into it.
There you go. Welcome to Rick's Corner. I got Patrick Meeks back. You guys have asked for him before. He's been on the show, and we had a lot to talk about. And there's a lot still to talk about. He's been training for how many years?
32.
See, he's only 29. How that happened?
Training out of the crib.
Yes, right. We talked about your lifts before. You used to train, or you still train heavy?
Not like I used to. I trained like about half the weight I used to do.
Yeah.
Because back in May 26th on Memorial Day, I suffered a congestive heart failure. I had to be rushed to the hospital. And when I got there, my blood pressure was like 200 over 90, something like that.
Yeah.
They said if I would have waited another day, I don't think I'd be sitting here talking to you.
Well, this is what we want to talk about, because a lot of you viewers out there are anywhere between the ages of 40 and 70. A lot of you older guys who train hard, you've had injuries, you've had health problems. You train heavy before and you're training light now. Both of us have had congestive heart failure. I had mine. When was yours?
In May.
All right. Well, mine was a year and a half ago, and I didn't even know I had it. And I want to hear your symptoms, and I'm going to tell you mine. What made you realize that you had this happening?
Well, it was happening for like 2 or 3 weeks, but us as bodybuilders, we think, it's going to go away. I'm going to the gym. I ain't going to worry about it. But my feet had swelled up like this.
Yeah.
I couldn't put my shoes on. I had a tightness in the stomach.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't breathe.
Mm-hmm.
If I walked from downstairs to my car, I was like out of breath.
Mm-hmm.
I couldn't carry, if I carried one package or grocery bag up to the house, I had to sit down like 10 minutes and get some rest.
Yeah.
I had to sleep upright. I was scared to lay down, because when I lay down, it was like I was jumping up.
Did you have pneumonia too?
No, I didn't have pneumonia. Okay. But I had to, like I said, I had to sleep upright. And the day that I went was on Memorial Day. My legs was like really hurting. They were swelled up like this big.
Yeah.
And I could barely move.
How much did your body weight change?
I went from, when they weighed me in the hospital, I was 377.
Okay.
Now I'm down to 292.
Oh my God.
Yeah.
That's crazy.
Yeah, and I feel great. But they've been having me on this like Formosa side. I think it's kind of like Lasix. Up the doctor told me.
I have these. I can't pronounce it. I can't pronounce it.
I can't pronounce none of that.
They're all generic, but it is Lasix. They had me on 2 different diuretics, and one was supposed to spur on the other one to drop all the water.
Okay.
Because my feet look like elephant's feet.
Yeah.
I couldn't get shoes on.
Same here. I couldn't even get them on at all. The
thing is that I want to say, if you guys ever suffer any of this, I remember walking out to get the mail, and I was out of breath going out to the mailbox. Mm-hmm. My chest felt tight. I just felt something was not right. I thought I was having a heart attack, but I wasn't. I had pneumonia, and this is like the 4th time I had it. So my lungs were pretty full of fluid. Mm-hmm. And I had gone to the Hollywood Bowl the night before with my girlfriend, and that's a steep climb all the way up there. And she's got her hand behind me pushing me up the hill, and it's cold out. The next day is when I got really sick like you. Mm-hmm. And so I came back and I said, I'm not feeling good at all. And my feet were swollen, everything. I was up to 234, I guess. My normal weight's about 218, 220. Mm-hmm. I didn't think much about it. And she says, you got to go to the doctor. I said, no, I don't want to go. So the next morning, my daughter came over here. We called the paramedics, and they looked at me and said, you need to go to the hospital. Mm-hmm. And so I had my girl pick me up. She took me out to St. Joe's, and I walked in. I couldn't even get to the counter. I said, I think I'm having a heart attack, and they rushed me right in. Mm-hmm. You know how they do that, right?
Yeah, that's the same thing they did to me.
And they checked everything, and they said, they got the doctors in, you've got pneumonia, and you've got congestive heart failure. And they put this big tube in the back of my lungs, and they drained out 2 liters of blood that was in my lungs. I never knew that was there.
Yeah.
But when you check your oxygen level with your finger, it should be about 96 to 98, and I was down to 76.
Wow.
No wonder I couldn't breathe. Mm-hmm. I thought maybe you had both pneumonia and congestive heart failure. But what happens, for all of you that don't know, and I know you do, the pleural sac around the heart fills up with fluid,
right? And
the heart starts to drown.
Right.
It can't function. It's underwater, and trying to pump all this, and it can't do it. So removing the fluid from you is what alleviates the problem.
Right.
So go on. So you went in, and what did they do to you?
Same thing they did to you. They injected me right with the Lasix, and I couldn't eat nothing. Not really. You know how hospital food is.
Yeah.
It's like this. They limited my fluid. I could sip off something, chew on some ice cubes or something like that.
Yeah.
And they kept me there for like 7 days.
Yeah, I was there 7 days.
Yeah, 7 days they kept me in there, and they did a great job. I got a new respect for nurses, I really like them now.
Yeah. I went in for 4 days, and I wanted to go home. and they had a pulmonary doctor and they had a cardiologist. They had everybody there, and they were really attentive, and the nurses were great, just so nice to me. And I said, I got to go home. And they said, no, you shouldn't go home because you're going to end up back here. I said, no, I want to do this at home. I don't like being in a hospital.
Right.
So I came home, I had an oxygen tank here, had a 100-foot cord on it. I would go into the bathroom, I'd go to the shower with my oxygen. Did they give you that?
Yeah, I had it in there for 7 days.
Yeah, I mean, it was okay.
Yeah.
So all my family comes over. Even my 2 ex-wives came over to watch me and my girlfriend. And my son walked me into the bedroom. He sat down in the bed. He says, Dad, you don't look good. He says, I've never seen you look like this in my life.
Right.
And I'm breathing. I said, well, I'll be okay. And they told me that I went back to the doctor 3 days later. He says, you go to the hospital now, or I guarantee you tomorrow you're dead. Just like that.
Yeah.
Scared me.
They don't play with you. They tell you straight out the way it is.
I said, I don't have time. I got things to do.
Yeah.
So we both ended up in the hospital, and it was a good thing.
Right.
How long did it take you to feel better?
Well, I was out of the gym. May 24th was my last workout. Then I had a doctor's appointment to go see the doctor in September. So he cleared me for to get back to the gym, a little light lifting, cardio, and that kind of stuff. And being out of the gym, you know how we do the years, man. We've been lifting.
Yeah.
And when you can't go to the gym, it feel like you're going crazy or something.
There's no question about it.
You know what I mean? Like in the Wizard of Oz when they killed the Wicked Witch and she was melting.
Yeah.
That's how I felt when I was laying in the bed. I said,
I know.
I'm melting. You know what I mean? So then I've been back in the gym since September the 12th. When I left the gym, I was benching over 400 pounds. When I get back, I got like 25s on each end of the bar.
Well, that's the funny thing, because before I went to the hospital that week, I wasn't feeling sick. I just felt like something was wrong, that my breathing was impaired, and I thought it was just had a bad cold or pneumonia. I didn't think it was congestive heart failure. But because I gained all that weight, I got really strong from all the weight. Right. But it was fake weight because it was just the water. When you got out, you must have been a lot leaner.
I was.
Did you look in the mirror and say, what the hell happened to me?
Yeah. And everybody said, oh man, you still big. I just didn't feel it.
No, you don't. I was 197. Yeah. My kids said, this is the best you've ever looked. You're nice and lean. I said, really?
Yeah, that's an insult to us.
That's an insult. And years ago, I went to Kaiser and I was like 205. And they said, you're obese. You should be 160. I said, there's no way I could be 160.
No, not at all.
No way.
So I started training back with my friend Carlos Jackson. I mentioned his name before I was here. Yeah. He's kind of like my mentor, my life coach, that kind of stuff. And he said, man, don't be scared to get back into the gym. He basically got me back in the ring. Yeah. You know what I mean? Yeah. And he helped me out a lot. So I want to say hi to him and his wife Brenda and his son Otis, because they helped me out a lot. And my mom for nursing me back to health.
Moms are the best. Yeah. Moms are the best. It was one of those things that, like you, I couldn't stay home. I stayed home. That's probably for me.
Okay.
I like that. It's a nice little tune.
Yeah.
I had the oxygen, like I said, here, and I would eat in there, and I'd watch TV, and I'd come in here. I actually shot a show with it. I'd go to the shower. I'd always leave the oxygen in. And then I would sleep in my den for like a month because the couch over there I could sit upright, like you said, because you can't lay flat.
No, you can't.
It's just uncomfortable to lay flat. And then, so I wouldn't trip on the cords going to the bathroom in the middle of the night, because when you're on diuretics, you got to pee like every 20 minutes.
I know.
Every 20 minutes.
Every 20 minutes.
So I'd go right out the sliding door and pee in the garden, and then come back in. I'd freeze and I'd come back in again. But that's the only way I could handle that.
I know. Because it hit you like all of a sudden.
You can't. You got to go know where the bathrooms are everywhere.
Yeah.
So about 2 weeks into it, I was back into the gym like you, and I was just riding the bike and bring my oxygen in there. And then I'd do some machines and have my oxygen. I started to mentally feel good. So physically I felt good. Right. You know what I mean? Because mind over matter. Right. And how long did it take you where you felt like fully recovered?
In September. It felt like I was good. I started doing some light cardio after that, and then got back to light lifting. I'm back up to like 2 plates on everything now. Yeah. And I'm gonna leave it at that.
Yeah. What did they say it came from?
Well, to be honest, I did another juice cycle right before this happened. Yeah. I got advice to you guys out there: never buy any juice from gym doctors, because you don't know what you're getting.
Oh, you don't know what you're getting.
So after that cycle, I got messed up. I didn't know because whatever it was, it shot my blood pressure like sky high. So if you guys going to get anything, make sure you get it from a doctor and a script, and go to CVS or Walgreens or wherever you go. At least you
Yeah,
know
we're
it's
not
like-
saying don't take it. We're not saying to take it. But if you're going to take something and you're going to do it,
Yeah.
make sure it's the good stuff.
Make sure it's the good stuff.
Because
yeah.
there's stuff nowadays people are making in their bathtubs and their sinks in their bathroom and they're labeling it and it's, you don't know what it is.
Like bootleg gin back in the day.
Yeah, exactly. What it does also, it thickens your blood, and so you have to have. My cardiologist told me that. He says when your blood gets thick, you either got to take blood thinners, or you have to donate like a pint of blood every week,
Right.
every month or every 2
Right.
months, and just take it down again because the blood. You don't want the blood so thick it's going to cause a stroke.
Right.
And that could be the next thing after congestive
Right.
heart failure.
Right, because I'm doing the blood thinners now because he said my blood was like extra thick. And they was taking it out. They say, oh, don't worry about that. This blood is no good anyway. You know,
What they have you taking? You know the name of it?
The blood thinner? Xarelto.
That's what I'm taking.
Oh, you taking Xarelto?
Yeah.
All right, cool.
Yeah, I think it does the job.
Yeah.
I started with baby aspirin. They said, well, it's okay, but it's just still a 50-50 chance. You know, you could have a stroke.
Mm-hmm.
And for those of you who don't know what a stroke is, it's really simple. Basically, a stroke or a blood clot is a scab.
Yes,
So
it
you
starts
can,
with a scab on
you
your
can
leg.
hit yourself somewhere, and it'll scab inside your artery, just a little tiny speck of dried blood, and that goes through your system and settles somewhere, and that's what causes a stroke.
And that happened to me. I had a scab on my shin. And man, I'm telling you, my legs was almost as big as this table.
Yeah.
You know, and it started with a scab. You're right. You're absolutely right.
And it's internal. It's internal in the artery. Then they can put a stent in, they can get it out, but they give you blood. Blood thinners prevent that. So even if you're not having any problems, they always say it's good to take a baby aspirin a day, 80 milligrams,
Right,
80
81,
grams, 81
81
grams.
yeah.
And it keeps your blood thin because you don't want it to coagulate and cause a stroke. And so when you are taking the juice, it's good to take that just in case.
Right.
You know, preventative. It's not going to hurt you.
Do you take the aspirin with the blood thinner now?
No.
Or you just do
Just
blood
the thinner,
thinner?
yeah.
Okay.
It's almost too much. In fact, sometimes on the Xarelto I only do half because I tend to overbleed.
Okay.
If I cut myself,
Or you just overbleed when you cut yourself?
yeah, it doesn't stop.
Okay.
And blood thinners do that. Then I was told also recently that he wants to play ball. Ozzy's here and he wants to play ball. That broccoli will also thicken your blood, so I've been laying off the
Oh,
broccoli.
for real?
Yeah.
I ate some broccoli last night.
Yeah.
You told me that.
Yeah, it's one of those things that check that out on the internet. Some green veggies do
Okay.
thicken your blood, and you don't want that. Even when you're on the juice, you don't want that
Mm-hmm.
because that can also cause a stroke over time. So you feel good now?
I feel great. I feel like I did about 20 years ago.
Did they say there's any indication that would ever come back?
They didn't say so. You know, I went to the doctor yesterday. Everything's good. The heartbeat is normal.
Yeah.
Blood pressure was like it's supposed to be.
Yeah.
And made me happy.
Well, on your phone, there's an app you can download that you can check your blood pressure, your heart rate, and your oxygen, and you just hold your finger over the camera. And I use it all the time, and it's pretty accurate. So I check my oxygen. I used to do daily, but now it's 96, 98, so I don't want to get that back again.
Right.
My blood pressure is anywhere from 116 over 75 to 120 over 80 to 121 over 81. I mean, it has never gone high again because when you have this happen to you once, you're aware you don't want it to happen again.
Right. Now, I have to, like in 3 months, I had to go back and get an ultrasound, you know. What is that about? I never had one.
Oh, that's easy. They put this gel on. They just go around this machine. And they watch you on the monitor. They check all your arteries, make sure the blood's flowing. You can hear it, boom, boom, and then you watch your heartbeat and watch the blood. There's no clogs. It's a good thing to have.
Right.
I went back and had 2 sets of lung X-rays just to make sure I didn't have pneumonia again.
Right.
And 6 months after it, I went back in. I had a cough. They said you have a slight bit in your right lung, but I wouldn't worry about it. Just take these antibiotics, and then ever since it's been clear.
Right.
I don't want that again.
Right, because before all this stuff happened, I experienced like the wheezing.
Got a lot of wheezing.
Yeah, because I said, why am I wheezing like
Especially
this?
at night in bed.
Yeah, exactly.
And it would keep me awake. I hear this.
Yeah, because the first time I heard it, I thought it was a mouse or something.
Yeah.
You know, but it was me.
This was just about 2 months ago because I thought I had pneumonia, but I had a cold. So I went to my cardiologist and I used his physician's assistant, who's a very nice girl. She says, "Nah, that wheezing, that cough's going to last you about 6-8 weeks. It's very common right now. Everybody has it.
Right.
So the wheezing's nothing. Your lungs look clear, which made me feel good, and I didn't have anything. So I went back to doing what I was doing.
Okay.
But I got mine from an oxygen machine in my garage that had been there for years, that my mom had before she died. And back in the day, in the 70s, down at the beach, we'd breathe oxygen on squat days because the air was bad, the pollution, and it would give us energy. So we had a couple of hot days, and I took that machine out and started breathing it, and that's how I got sick. It had bacteria in it.
Oh, okay.
It was never been cleaned out the filters, so it has rat droppings and dust and all
my
this shit
God.
going in my lungs.
Wow.
That's where that came from.
Wow.
It's weird. And I told the doctor, he said, yeah, that's pretty much it. Chances of you getting this again are slim to none.
Okay, that's good.
So, so your diet now is clean?
My diet is super clean. I'm eating like I'm getting ready for a contest, but there's no contest. The contest is life now.
Yeah, you're competing with yourself.
Exactly. So now on Sunday or something, I have a slice of pizza or something. I'm only human.
That's all right, of course.
You know, but I don't. Everything in moderation now for me.
Yeah. How about the juice?
I haven't taken any juice since then.
No. Do you feel a difference?
I'm not as strong as I was, you know, but I'm, like I say, I'm just glad to be back in the gym.
Mm-hmm. You look great.
Thank you.
So I don't think being off it has made any difference for you. It only does that mentally.
Right. Yeah, that's what it is mainly. Mm-hmm.
Because when I came out of the hospital after that, and I was 197, the doctor checked my testosterone levels, and I was only 98 on the level. I should be over 400.
For real?
He says, you're really low. I said, should I go back on test? He says, yeah, go back on 200 milligrams a week.
Okay.
And by the end of that third week, I was up over 400.
So your cardiologist, he prescribed it?
Yeah, he said it's for your age, it's better that you stay on it because you're 98, you're not even functioning.
Ain't that a good feeling to get a script for your test? Just go and get it.
Yeah, and he knows what I'm doing and he monitors it, so I want to make sure I'm doing the right thing.
Right.
Now I think it's gone up even more, about 800-900 now.
Okay.
Which is okay. He said that's good too.
Mm-hmm.
But I can't imagine without it now. I mean, I just got so weak and so thin. That
when you told me you had put on like 30 or 40 pounds, you think it was the test that did it?
Recently I put on, I'm 223 right now. I'm heavier than I've been in probably 6 months.
Right.
But I'm training a little bit heavier. Not heavy, but mostly with machines.
So you're stronger, yeah.
I'm stronger, and so 7-8 reps work better to me than 12 to 15.
Okay.
And so I started to fill out. All my shirts got tight, and I look at the scale. Last week it was 225, but I'm not taking anything other than the 200 milligrams of test a week. That's it. I changed my protein to Old School Labs protein, which they just came out with, and I think maybe that was a factor because it's meat, eggs, and milk.
Right.
And I think that's working for me. Other than that, my diet's clean, and I was just watching a Dorian Yates video about the 10 essentials you need for bodybuilding, and he said, and I believe this, he said, free weights or machines doesn't matter as long as you get the resistance.
Exactly.
It's all what it's about. And negatives when you train,
right.
The negatives. And I was listening, and he says exactly what I've been believing my entire life about the high protein, low carbs, and the fats are good for energy, and 1.5 grams of protein for every pound of body weight. So, you know, if you're 200 pounds, you should have 225 grams, 50 grams of protein a day. It all makes sense to me. And it doesn't matter what age you are. I mean, at my age, it's the same thing.
Right.
So I am gaining off it. I'm getting bigger. I can see it in the mirror. And I can put my T-shirts on. I said,
yeah, you did
they shrink? Or am I getting bigger?
You're getting bigger.
Yeah, I can.
And then the guys you see in the gym, they don't look so big anymore.
Yeah. Well, to get on that subject for a minute, and I want to talk about that. We got time.
Okay.
Well, I see guys come in the gym, and you see them, and I see, and you know, they call these kids nowadays the millennials.
Okay. Yeah.
Because they're in their 20s and they think they know it all.
Right.
Not to say they don't. I mean, I don't think they do, but they're good guys. They just think they know it all, and probably I did at the same age. And they come in the gym and they do everything wrong.
Yeah, I noticed that.
I saw a guy come in the gym and he thought he knew everything. He's grabbing these 60-pound dumbbells and he's doing side bends. And even Dorian Yates says, don't work your abs and obliques are going to get thick and your waist will get bigger, which is true.
Because you're working a muscle.
You're working a muscle. He says, you work your abs too much, they stick out. Mine do for sure.
Right.
So I see people doing that. Then what really bothers me, and I'm sure it bothers a lot of people, are the cell phones.
Oh, wow. They could just leave it in the car.
Leave it in the car. Put it in the cubby hole. I never bring mine into the gym. I want to work out. I'm looking for a machine. This guy's on his phone. He's texting. He's on his phone. He's sitting on the machine. 30 minutes he's there. I said, excuse me, can I use that? Oh, yeah, I'm sorry.
Right.
And he was nice enough.
Right.
But come on, this is not the place for that. There were 2 girls in there that got their fake butts put in, which is very common now in L.A.
Yeah, I know.
And they're doing videos of they're doing the side kicks. They look at my butt. Look how round. Look at my butt. Look at my butt.
Right.
I'm just waiting for them to sit down really hard on it and have it pop and all that water fall out. Yeah. So
I'd rather somebody be on the Smith machine with like 10 pounds on each side and say I got 20 sets instead of a guy sitting there with a cell phone.
Exactly. Actually, the Smith machine with 10 pounds is about what I'm using now.
Okay, well, excuse me. I didn't mean to offend you.
No, it's okay. I mean, I was doing 25, 35, 45, and then my shoulders started to really sound like celery breaking. So now I just use 10 pounds if I even press. Mostly it's laterals.
Well, since you're doing the test now, it really don't matter how much you lift.
Doesn't matter.
Because you're going to get round and big anyway.
Doesn't matter. You know, it's just all about the focus and the resistance, pushing the weight and the negative coming back.
And feeling good, man.
Yeah, and feeling good.
Feeling like yourself.
And recovery, sleeping.
Yeah. Yep.
That sleep's the biggest factor.
Mm-hmm.
Well, I'm happy you're alive.
Thank you.
And I'm happy you're here.
Alive.
I'm glad you came over and shared this with everybody, because there's probably people that suffer from this that don't even know.
I know. If you guys feel any, weirdness, any kind of weirdness in your body, my advice is go to the doctor, because I hadn't been to the doctor in over 20 years. So, and when it helped me get back in relationship with my son too, because when I was in the hospital, he was calling me.
Yeah.
Our relationship was kind of strained.
Yeah.
And we back on good terms now. I think everything happened for a reason.
It does. I had people came out of the woodwork. I had 30 people a day coming in, and the nurses downstairs said to my kids, "Who's your dad? He's got all these people coming, celebrities. Even Stone Cold Steve Austin came, which was very nice of him."
Okay.
But I had a lot of people there every day just to make sure I'm okay. They came to my house. They were bringing me things, and I had another friend of mine. She was taking me to the doctor in the hospital. My girlfriend was there night and day, and my ex-wives, and my whole family. They just all jumped to help me out, which really made me feel good.
Right.
And I love them so much, and I appreciate what they did.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So here we are. We're live. We're still doing it. So you guys be sure and tune in to More Rex Corner. Thank you, Patrick, for being here.
Right, guys.
This is good information that you can use towards yourself. You don't want to end up where we did, and you don't want to end up dead. So take care of yourself. Have a healthy and happy Merry Christmas and Happy New Year, and we'll see you guys after the first of the year.
All right. Thank you.
Thanks.
All right, Rick.
Drasin.com. He is the equalizer, baby. See you next time.